Right, everyone. Hello. All right, everyone. Hello. Yes. So yes, as I said, yes, I am back tonight for another live stream, and yes, we are just all the links have been sent to everyone. And yes, so I know that I should be joined by Knowlsy and 000Firestorm, and also we might have some other guests as well. Hopefully Tony, yes, Tony, Mr. Soundwave SG1, Lizzie, and I have also sent the link to Carl, God Pikachu, so we'll see. So yes, the links have been sent. So, right, well, while we're just waiting for everyone, I'll talk about well, today, basically, yes, today I just went to my work placement at the Entertainer. Really enjoyed it, had a great time, good shift. I really am enjoying working there. It's really good. Yes, in terms of, I haven't picked up anything. The only thing I've picked up this week really was the Lego Incredibles game, which I had talked about on Wednesday evening, because yeah, that was something I knew I wanted, so I kind of just put money aside for that. But the rest of the money is going to just see what's going on. Oh, hi, Sam.
Hi, Lawrence.
Yep. How are you?
Not bad. Really glad it's the weekend.
Yeah.
A long week at work, so I'm glad it's the weekend.
I'll probably be going till about 11:05 tonight. Is that okay? Because I'm probably going to then head off and have a nice cold beer.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. It's no worries.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for some others. Everyone's got the link. I've sent it to Lizzie and to John, and the Carl's got the link. I think Tony's got the link. So just see who turns up.
Well, it's finally raining.
Is it raining in Hull?
Yeah, it's thrown it down. It's been raining.
We had like a thunderstorm in the middle of last night. My mum was telling me about it, but I seemed to sleep right through it. So
it's been raining probably for the last 3 hours. It started just out. No, not.
Have you been able to go out and stand? Have you been able to go and stand outside in it to cool yourself off?
It's a hell of a lot cooler now. Probably been raining about 2.5 hours, I reckon. It started just after 7. Yeah, it's really cooled down. It's due to stop by 11, I think.
It's still very hot here at the moment. I can hear people out and about at the minute. You see, I just literally live more or less up the road from a pub, and I can hear people there now. So
yeah, it's very much a refreshing night, but it's still warm though. But it's not as hot. It's cooled down a bit, but it's still warm. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's going to rain to about 11ish, and it's going to stop.
Yeah. Do you often get to go out on a Friday or Saturday night and have a drink, or?
Not really. It doesn't really interest me.
You're more a sort of stay-in sort of person.
Yeah, there's not a lot goes on in my local, really. It's the same people.
I mean, are there places you can go in Hessel, or do you have to go into Hull to?
No, there's places in Hessel. Just not a lot really goes on. We lost one pub that's got turned into flats, and is also now a like little restaurant.
Yeah.
We've still got two of the old pubs still. No, 3 of the older pubs still operating. We've got like a nightclub as well. Well, I say nightclub. It's kind of more like
Is that the Spider's place?
No, Spiders in Hessel. We've got a place called 21 Bar. They say it's a nightclub's a bit strong. It's more like a cocktail bar. I've never really been in. Don't particularly interest me. I mean, I've never really been interested in pubs. You know, I mean, I don't mind the odd drink. You know, but I don't get any enjoyment out of it. You know, I guess it's just not my cup of tea, really.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, here in Market Harborough, I mean, we're you know, we had our main nightclub, but that now closed down. I mean, I used to go in there a lot, but now it's gone. And we now have like a bar. We have 2 bars, one bigger one and one smaller one, which are also kind of nightclubs at the weekend. But one of the main ones turned into a complete shithole, so hardly anyone goes in there anymore. So I normally either just go to the Weatherspoons or to the pub that I live just up from.
Yeah, I mean, Frank, realistically, we've got pub-wise in Hessel, we've got the Hayes, which is kind of the last traditional pub left in Hessel. We've got the Admiral, which does really, really good food. Then we've got the Hawk, which the Hawk's been to all sorts of different owners over the years.
Yeah, I've just had a message from Tony to say he's going to bow out tonight because he's tired. Well, that's all right. That's fine. I'm sure he'll join us again, and we'll all be seeing each other in a couple of weeks anyway. So
2 weeks on Thursday we head up. Not long ago now. Not long at all.
Yeah.
I've got some artwork commissions arranged. And one of the artists.
All right, so you're going to take some stuff to get signed.
No, one of the artists is doing something for me, doing a piece for me.
Oh, so you're going to pick it up and pay for it there?
Yeah. I just really wanted to get a commission done this year because I've only ever had one commission, well, 2 commissions done actually, but they're both like the one behind me is all 3 RCs, like the heads. I've got G1 animated and Prime RC all done behind me.
I'm going to go to the Forge a bit more this time around. I want to get some more sort of art stuff. I mean, last year I got that cap that was self-made from that woman. I got those 2 3D sort of figures that were built. Actually, I got one. I got one of Megatron. There was one of Megatron and Optimus Prime.
Yeah, it's always nice to get something a bit different. What have you been up to anyway, Lawrence? What's your week been like?
Well, for 4 days I've been doing my work experience placement, which is at the moment going really well. Yeah, so I've been there nearly 2 weeks.
What do you do with work experience then, mate?
Well, I'm at the Entertainer in Leicester. I think you've got one because Tony works there, doesn't he?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, St. Stephen's Shopping Centre.
Yeah. So I'm working in there. It's going really well. They're all pleased. I'm mainly doing stock work and
so
pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
doing deliveries. I do pricing. I go to collect deliveries. It's a really good job, and they're trusting me to do quite a bit. So
you'll be able to see all the new stock that comes in.
Yeah. We're mainly focusing on pushing like the old-fashioned traditional toys at the minute, like yo-yos and.
Well, yeah, I think you need to, because you don't want stuff like that to die out. I mean, our Entertainer, but Tony works, they're doing yo-yos again. I haven't seen a yo-yo in a toy shop in probably 20 years. The last time I saw a toy shop selling yo-yos, I think I was about 9.
Yeah,
They were really big. And they just faded out, and they're back in now. It's probably been 20 years since they were last really big.
Yeah, well, they've been crazies a couple of times, haven't they? They've been because I remember when I was about 7, they became like a big craze again when they had like the pro yos that light up and everything. And we're doing yo-yos like that again. And we've got things like the kinetic rings, you know, and the flat balls, you know, the things that you push into a discus, you throw it and it pops into a ball.
You're doing putting.
You know, like flat balls, the things that you push, it becomes back to a discus.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I mean,
it's. I mean, where I live in Hazel, you would have loved it, mate. There used to be an old school traditional toy shop. It shut down years ago, but it used to have everything. It's the type of shop that if it was still running today, I bet you could probably still find some of like G1 Transformer stuff there, because they just seem to sell a lot of 80s and 90s stuff, and unfortunately they shut down.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's available online, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's why they shut down.
You know, they're not competing. And then, you know, no one's just doing with. I mean, you know of Pound Land? You know there's Pound World?
Yeah.
Well, our store is in the same shopping centre as the Entertainer. I've been going there, but that's closing down. All these great little shops that you can, you know, you can buy a lot of your things from, your essentials and your, you know, things for your interests, and they're all just going down. It's sad. I think a lot of people still prefer to shop the old-fashioned way.
Well, yeah, the problem is, part of the issue, or the high street issue, as they call it, is a lot of there's three types of shops these days. There's your big retail shops like Asda, Morrison's, that, you know, are massive chains and, you know, are pretty much okay and do really well. You've then got your independent shops or small businesses which do okay, and then after that you've got kind of like your little independent one-off shops, and they're the ones that are suffering the most.
Yeah, as I say, we had also, yeah, I mean, we also had a really good discount warehouse, a local place here in Harborough, and that was open for years, and we used to go there because you could buy like old cheap toys there. You could buy like some old Star Wars figures and, you know, bits like old Transformers or Power Rangers and stuff, and like you could buy them for like, you could get them for like $1.99, and they sold drinks, they sold food items, arts and crafts stuff, tools. You know, you could literally go in there and find there was always something for you, but you know, we lost that, which is a shame.
Yeah, we tend to lose a lot. I mean, I mean, part of the issue is to an extent it is online stuff, but also it's oversaturation. I mean, part of the reason Toys R Us shut down because of oversaturation. I mean, Star Wars was part of the problem, and to a certain extent, so were Transformers, because they had a habit. I mean, when Star Wars started again, when a new trilogy started, Toys R Us was being saturated with Star Wars toys, and no one was buying them because the vast majority of them were just overpriced, and no one was in.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like what they say, isn't it? Now all the stock left over from Toys R Us will be sold to the retailers like B&M.
Yeah,
will sell them at a cheaper.
The B&M in Hull, they're already selling what was Toys R Us stock, and they're selling all the Star Wars stuff for like £7, and it used to be 15-20 quid. They're selling it for like half the price, and people will buy it at that price. The problem is, it's when you flush a store like a toy store with one particular brand, you're not going to ship enough of it. In fact, there's a really kind of video that makes a good point of this. There was someone posted a video up on YouTube a couple of weeks ago, and it was the last Toys R Us store. And I think it was in America. And I think this particular store was shutting down, and they were selling off everything at like half price. And they were showing this one aisle that was full of Star Wars merchandise. and none of it sold. Nobody was interested in it because there was so much of it that it's just like no one wanted it. And the same thing with the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen toyline. You know, there were so many Bumblebees. There was like 5 Bumblebees to every one original figure. So nobody bought anything. And again, that's another issue that was Toys R Us's downfall, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the live action TF film franchise has kind of gone. This Michael Bay franchise is not doing well, is it? It's gone down since
the last night really was the last nail in the coffin for the Bayverse, really, because the last night didn't do very well financially.
No one really wants the toys, do they? If they don't like the film, they're not going to buy the figures.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the truth is, I think they'll start looking. I mean, figures-wise, I think they'll start looking. They are starting to look more down towards the masterpiece range now, a lot more than they used to, and they are starting to increase and create masterpieces that nobody thought you'd ever get. But you know, it's just one of those things, mate. It's like anything. I mean, I've seen. I mean, at the moment, there's only 2 toy shops in Hull. There's the Entertainer. And there's a new one that's opened up in a shopping centre. I've yet to go to it. But then it's like DVD stores. There's HMV's the only store left in Hull where you can buy DVDs. There used to be a really good shop called Silver Screen in Hull, and they were brilliant. That you could buy the latest releases, Blu-ray, in this shop for like £5. Everywhere else would be 15, 20 quid. And people used to go in and walk out with bags full of DVDs for half the price of what it would be at like.
Well, you could actually buy the new releases brand new for £5.
Yeah, it was called Silver Screen. It was a shop in Hull, and they were brilliant. I mean, literally, people used to go in and walk out with bags of DVDs, all for half the price of what they'd be elsewhere. And they were always busy. And I've to this day, I don't know why they shut down, because they were really popular.
Yeah, they'd make a lot of money doing that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I was always in there.
Yeah, and also, you know, That's Entertainment. Did you have one of those? We had one. It was like a second-hand place, but they've
shut down now. They've shut down.
All of them. I think all of them are gone.
They moved. They moved 3 times in Hull to different locations, and
Same in Leicester,
then about 3 or 4 months ago, they announced they were shutting down for good. The problem is with the Entertainer, it's the other side of the coin. There's not a big business for second-hand DVDs and games. If people want that, they'll go to a place like Entertainment Exchange, but there's not much of a market for them, which is why. If you go to like CEX with a load of stuff, the chances are you won't get much for them. I mean, the last time I went to CEX to sell some stuff, I had a Nokia N8, which was one of the very first smartphones I ever owned. It was in perfect condition, but they only offered me 15 quid for it. You know, the problem is, it's like any place that buys and sells secondhand goods. Unless, depending on what it is, they'll buy it off you for minimum price. Even like good as new PlayStation 4 that's used but in great condition, you might only get 120 quid for it, and they'll sell it on for
I go into CEX to have a look around occasionally, and I still do occasionally purchase something from there. But I've heard this thing about them potentially ripping people off.
Well, they ripped me off big time on my phone.
They even I've heard they even put like fake, covers on games and stuff. They put their own.
They do. I say they ripped me off with my phone because I knew it was worth more than 15 quid. I took the offer of 15 quid. I should have stuck it on eBay, really. I probably would have got more for it. But basically, when I bought it into CEX, they had a look at it and they claimed that they'd only be able to sell it as a Band B, which was classed as like damaged but working. I asked them why, because it's like, there's no damage to it. The phone works fine. And the person I spoke to said, well, this top bit comes off. I couldn't be bothered to argue with them because the reason the top bit of the phone, basically, it's a different design, but if I use my current phone as example, they claim that the top bit here pulled off. It did pull off. The reason the top bit pulled off was because to open the phone back to get the battery out, you had to take off the top and bottom parts of the phone, and then the back bit slid off. And they tried to basically said to me, "Oh, well, that's not meant to do that." Well, I didn't want to argue with them because I felt like, what's the point? So in the end, I thought, you know what, I'll take the 15 quid. A few weeks later, I thought to myself, you know what, I should have stuck it on eBay. I might have got more than 15 quid.
Yeah.
But live and learn.
Yeah, I know. Well, you learn from your mistakes. I mean, look, I went when I wanted my Nintendo Switch. I was so strapped for cash. But what I did was, I thought I'm not really going to need my Wii U anymore if I'm going to get a Switch. So I had shelf, literally a shelf full of all my games, and I had a huge pile of Wii U games. So I bought in the console, I bought in all the games, which were all in very good condition. I also thought maybe since it's also a portable console, I wouldn't need my DS either, and I didn't really play the DS much anymore. So I took my 3DS in and all my DS games. So I ended up had nearly £1,000 in points for the whole lot. So I got my Switch. I got 4 very good of the new Switch games, and I also got several other things. Since then, I have purchased another Nintendo DS because I really missed Pokemon. So I got for my last birthday this year, I got Nintendo 2DS and Pokemon Ultra Moon. But everything that was on every big game that was on the Wii U, they're now bringing out for the Switch. So I've replaced most of what I had.
Yeah, they are changing now. They are bringing things back out again. It's always good to see old school stuff being brought back.
Yeah, I mean, all these retro consoles that are coming out.
Have you heard the news that Rugrats is coming back?
What, like a new version of it, like a?
Well, no, it's apparently there's been confirmed they're going to do a new season of Rugrats.
So it'll be a continuation.
Yeah, but obviously I hope they get the original cast back for it. I mean, bloody hell, Rugrats was brilliant.
Yeah. I never really watched much of the cartoon, but I did like the 2 movies. Like the first Rugrats movie and Rugrats in Paris. I did like those.
Well, I like the All Grown Up series as well. That was a good follow-on.
Yeah, I know there was the crossover movie with the Wild Thornberrys, wasn't there? Rugrats meet the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah, it's little things like that, because the thing is, I often think with the 90s kids, we grew up with a lot of the 80s stuff, because a lot of the 80s stuff was just rerunning in the 90s. Then we had a lot of the really good 90s series. And then I suppose at the moment, we're still enjoying a lot of the cartoon stuff. I mean, to be frank, I watched a pretty good video the other day that actually kind of went into the detail of why do adults watch kids' cartoons. And a lot of the time, I think it's largely because 99% of the time, my personal opinion, is a lot of kids' cartoons are better quality than some of the live-action adult stuff that's on telly these days.
Yes, it is. And I think it's a way of relaxing, kind of. And I think in this day and age, when everything's so tough in the world, you've got a fucked up economy, you've got all this, and all this, violence and stuff in the world. I think it's just a way of escaping.
Messed up
to revisit your childhood.
Bloody hell, Lawrence, it's going to get a lot worse when we finally leave the EU, mate.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to have a good couple of years of bad times when it comes to the economy. It'll probably take a decade for everything to flatten out. I mean, the Hull's going to get hit hard. There's a lot of companies in Hull that are EU funded, and they might shut down because of us leaving the EU.
Oh, here's John.
Knowlsy.
Hey.
Sod off.
All right.
Me and Lawrence were having good times, and you've just ruined it.
How are you, John? How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just sorry for being a bit late on. I decided at last minute to do a video for the Bronies channel, just out of sudden realization. So I've just done that now, waiting for it to render while I do this.
It's raining.
Yay!
Still hot though, but yeah, it's raining.
I think Lizzie's coming on in a bit as well.
Yeah, she messaged. Yeah, she messaged me saying. Yeah, she messaged me saying that she was thinking of popping on, but apparently her mum is in the living room watching TV, so she's waiting for her mother to disappear, and then she's gonna pop on.
Did you just say, "Mother, sod off"? I'm gonna do video chat. I'm gonna do dirty things on video chat involving Shadow. You know, that poor cat.
We'll probably be on till about 11:05. Is that okay, John? Because I'll be going out. I'll be going out for a couple of drinks afterwards, getting the nice cool air.
Make sure you enjoy them, Lawrence, because the world's going to end in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we were saying, we were just talking about the disaster we're going to have for all the EU-funded companies in this country when we actually leave.
Oh, right. No, I'm so sorry that I missed that.
Hull's going to suffer, mate. There's a lot of companies in Hull that are really going to suffer.
Mate, there's companies that are going to suffer all over the place, mate. It's, Hull has been on the declining problem since I remember, because obviously when the credit crunch hit back in like 2005, 6, 7 time when I've just finished college. Sorry?
Yeah, it started in 2008, didn't it, the actual credit crunch?
Well, it kind of did, but with Hull, it kind of started a bit early because I was at college straight after finishing school. But when I'd finished college, it would have been probably around about... Yeah, I'd say about 07, 08 time, probably when I just finished. So it kind of started to really become a problem. And
when we lost Woolworths, I mean, that really hit just how bad the problem was. I mean, Woolworths was a great retailer.
It was. I mean, yeah, we lost ours. Apparently, my dad said we had 2. But I don't remember having 2. I only remember having 1. But apparently there was one down Whitefrigate, which is like the main shopping district part of town.
One down Whitefrigate.
Yeah, it must have been before our time, mate. Because my dad said there used to be one. You know where Marks and Spencer's is now.
Mm.
Apparently, it was there. Apparently, Marks and Spencer's took over the building.
Mm.
So yeah, apparently it used to be there, and there used to be one where it used to be the one that me and you both remember. But I only remember the one, so at the time, I'm guessing they must have closed it when we were quite young. We just didn't realise about it.
Yeah,
so
I remember going to our store. Like, it was closing down a couple of days after Christmas. And on Christmas Eve 2008, me and my mum and my mum and sister, we went in and just bought bags of stuff because they were, everything was just reduced so cheap because they had to clear everything out so quickly.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about Woolworths is I've heard that they're meant to be coming back. I mean, they come back as an online retailer.
Yeah.
But apparently they're supposed to be coming back to the high street as well. Let me find out about that for you. It's supposed to be...
Realising we're online, but I thought they were completely gone.
Would they? No, I do remember them being advertised as being returning online.
Yeah.
I just hope they can... I mean, will this be a particularly safe time for them to come back?
I don't know. Apparently, the buildings, like majority of the buildings our Woolworths actually used to trade on, apparently they didn't actually sell them. They actually kind of rented them out to another store. And a lot of them were like Pound World and like really like budget.
Yeah, I was just saying, our Pound World store in Leicester, that's closing down.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, ours is closing down as well.
Isn't that where Lizzie works, didn't you say?
No. Lizzie works in insurance.
Oh.
She don't work in retail. well, she just works in customer service, which is the worst part. Right, let me find out. Woolworths. Yeah, because apparently I read something that Woolworths had. Just a minute. It was announced. It was updated that there could be a bit of a blur. Oh, here we go. Just a minute. I found it. Yeah, apparently I read something not too long ago, and they were saying that the guy who owns it, he's considering bringing back.
Yes, my friend was telling me about this. I mean, if he's got the money to do it, it'd be fantastic. The only thing that worries me is, would they bring it back and then 6 months down the line they're closed down again because of all this fucked up shit?
No, well, I hope not. I mean, this is in the Liverpool Echo, but obviously it's just a local paper in the Liverpool Echo. So I'll send this to you. If I can figure out why my computer has been so slow for some reason. Right, here we go. Should hopefully pop up on your screen now if you want to read it.
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. Sorry.
Now this is Liverpool Echo, so it's not really kind of like a major paper, but it's yeah. I read something. It wasn't this Liverpool Echo. It was something else that reported on it, but they're talking about 11 stores to come back in the UK, bringing back 11 stores, and I'm hoping that the one that we had in Hull's coming back, because apparently they rented out.
Yeah, I think Woolworths was our best retailer we had in my little town in Market Harborough. And obviously we had Sainsbury's, we had the Co-op, we had Sainsbury's, Co-op, Iceland for your food shop and all that. I mean, our Iceland's gone. That went years ago. We've still got the Co-op. We've still got Sainsbury's. We've still got Tesco.
No, they are. They shut down.
Oh, Lizzie's saying Lizzie's saying her Facebook won't let her her link won't let her join. I'll just try resending it to her.
Well, to be honest, she's trying to do it over her phone, and I don't know if it'll work, because one thing I know, you've got to actually be in a Google account for Hangouts to actually work, because I tried to do it with my TF Knowlsy channel. I tried to go live via my TF Knowlsy, but you don't have the option of launching the Google Hangouts. You've got to actually kind of do a live event through YouTube itself. So because you're not on a Gmail account, you don't have all the.
Let me just have a look, because I've got Hangouts on my phone here. Let me see if I can find this feed. Yeah,
but like I was saying about Woolworths, apparently I read that they'd rented out to another store. The stores that were, because obviously my store, it was something else, then it become Pound World. And then obviously there were a Woolworths that used to be in Bridlington. That also became a similar store. So all the stores that were once Woolworths are rented out to a Pacific similar retailer. And the theory is that he kind of did the really clever thing, the guy who owns Woolworths. He didn't sell his lots. He didn't sell his shops. He just simply rented them out. So if he wanted to, he could simply ask for those shops back, and they would have no choice but to give him them back.
Yeah, because they're still his, aren't they? Because they're still his.
Yeah, they're still his shops. He obviously it's still his shops, but what he's done is he's simply rented them out to a different retailer. Like a temporary retailer, because they are temporary shops what have popped up that used to be Woolworths shops. So they're talking about trying to bring back at least 11 of them over the UK, and I'm really hoping the one in Hull is back, because Woolworths was a big time. It obviously was a big shop. It had a lot of staff. It helped. When in its heyday, it was really good. I used to go in there a lot. And it used to have all the up-to-date lines. It used to have Medabot stuff. It used to have Beyblade stuff. It used to have Transformers. It used to have all sorts of really great stuff in there.
Why are you? Oh, you're on your phone as well, Sam.
Yeah. So she can connect. That's just causing bad feedback. Let's just disconnect that.
Sam. You
Connect.
You never sounded better, mate. You never sounded great.
That's better. Yeah, I just did it there. That caused a shitload of feedback. But yes, we can. Lizzie should be able to join by phone.
Well, I can't do it. I've tried it. I mean, I've got the app on my phone, and it wouldn't allow me to connect via my phone when you was online once. It wouldn't let me do it, so I had to come upstairs and connect through this. It seems to not work through, or it seems to kind of remember what device you're using. It seems to kind of
every time I log into my Google accounts through a new device, whether it be a phone, a computer, or a tablet, it would say that I've just logged in through a new device.
It's saying you're still there, Sam.
Yeah, you're still there.
I've disconnected.
You've disconnected, but you're still there. There's still there's you, and then there's like you.
Yeah, it will show that picture, but that side's disconnected. I'm only live from my computer now.
Yeah, but by right, shouldn't it just duck down when you disconnect?
Should do, but I'm no longer connected on that anymore.
You've broken the system, Sam. How dare you? But anyway, so I'm really hoping we do get our Woolworths back because, quite frankly, it was a great shop. You know, I'd got the old days of pick and mix, and the old days.
You can still buy pick and mix and B&M.
You can, but it's not really pick and mix anymore. You know, it's kind of like pay the earth for sweets now. It's like I remember one time I went to my local Odeon when I was a kid. This was probably I would have been about maybe 15, 16. So yeah, a kid. And I remember I went. I don't know if it was with you, Sam, but me and you decided to get some sweets instead of getting something else for a change. Unless it was a bit, I don't know, but I remember anyway. And I thought, you know what, I'll get a pick and mix for a change. You know, picked up a cup, put what I wanted in, and I went to the till. And guess how much it actually cost me to get what I picked?
I'd probably say 10.
Near there. It cost me nearly £12. And I was like,
John, can I just ask, why does it say John Williams on your screen?
So look. I can't see it. It just says you on my end.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's in the group chat.
Well, John Williams, obviously, John William is actually my middle name, so I use that for my. I don't know why it's using that, to be honest, unless because for some reason it would just call me John or John Knowles or whatever on this, but for some reason it's chosen to call me John William for today. I don't know why, but anyway. But yeah, so yeah, it cost me nearly £12 last time I got pick and mix from a local cinema. I don't think it costs that now, but you're supposed to, because literally I literally filled this cup full of sweets. It maybe was my own fault, but they put it on the weigh system and it come up with the price, and I said that's going to be £12. I was like, good job, I've got money on me, isn't it? You know, and I only. You know, I thought it only cost me about £6 for some sweets, and I get my, but luckily I had about £50 on me on the day. I don't know why I had that much at 16, but still. I probably robbed it from some old pensioner on the way in. I don't know, but no, I'm not joking. I would never do that. Come on, Lizzie. You are taking too long. She just said she can't get on. And because she's using a phone, you see. I know Sam's just done it on his phone, but the problem is he's probably used it before, so it remembers his device.
Doesn't she have a phone or anything? A laptop, sorry.
She does, but for some reason, her mum's in the living room watching TV, and and she doesn't want to kind of get in the way of her mum watching TV, so that's why she's not going on her laptop. So she was trying to kind of use a phone so she could go out upstairs or go somewhere else. But don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. You know, do it another day if it doesn't work.
It should work. I mean, that's good, yeah.
Well, it don't work because I tried to do it on mine. It won't work. It seems to.
Yeah, I can do it on my tablet. But
yeah, for some reason, it seems to remember the device you've used before. Because I remember one time, right? I thought to come on and surprise you, and you, Tony, I think you, Tony, or it was Carl and Sam were doing a live feed, and I couldn't pop on. I said I couldn't do it, so I thought, oh, they're still on, and I thought, you know what? I'll just pop on for a surprise. And I downloaded the app, the Google Hangout app. I tried to search for Sam, tried to search for you. It would not even find you. And then I tried to kind of connect to the video that it did eventually find, and it wouldn't do it. It says that it doesn't recognize me. It doesn't recognize the people. Because apparently you wasn't in my groups or something, and because you wasn't, it didn't identify you as part of my groups on Hangouts. It wouldn't allow me to connect, and I couldn't do anything. It wouldn't let me do anything. So in the end, I just gave up. I just couldn't be bothered. But since then, I've got to be on my PC for it to work because it works through my John Knowles.
Do you have a desktop? You have a desktop, then, John?
I have a desktop and a laptop, but it doesn't seem to work from my laptop either because, to be honest, I don't use my laptop.
Yeah, you don't use your PC for gaming, though.
No, it's not good enough for games, to be honest. It's only good enough for, say, Star Wars Republic Commando, which I've got behind there. It can just play that. But obviously, I don't play that anymore. I haven't played it. Well, to be honest, I might as well get rid of the games that I've got behind here because I don't play them at all. It's kind of a waste.
See, I've got an Apple Mac, so there's more games compatible for them now, but no, I'm normally just a console gamer.
Yeah, I'm a console gamer. Always have been, but to be honest with you, I mean, I am considering maybe... I keep saying this. I've been saying it for a couple of years now that I need to kind of update my computer and get a new one, but I just can't afford it at the moment, I just really can't afford it. I know they're not expensive. You can get a fairly decent actual computer tower for about 200 or 300 quid with a fairly decent spec already. But at the moment, it's an expense I can't afford at the moment until after TF Nation and Benidorm, because obviously I'm going to be saving pretty much solidly from next year for Japan, because I'm considering going to Japan in 2021. And I want to kind of give myself a good 3 years leeway to kind of save for it.
Yeah, I'm still considering saving that. If you were still considering going, I'd still consider going with you if you were happy to.
Yeah, of course. You know what? To be honest with you, I've asked Lizzie as well. She's kind of on board at the moment. It's too early to really say. Sam has kind of given me an answer that he'd probably like to go. My mate Smithy, he's definitely given me 100%. We're not sure my mate Matter, he was going away with us to Benidorm. He's not really giving me 100% yet. It's kind of 50-50. So at the moment, it's kind of me, you, Lawrence, Sam, Smithy, and obviously me. So it's going to be about 5 or 6 of us, hopefully. So I haven't had a chance yet. I'm going to probably over the weekend, I'm going to kind of do a bit of research and find out like hotels, accommodation, roughly how much a flight's going to be to Japan for a return. I'm going to kind of find out the main nitty gritty stuff. And kind
we'd also need quite a bit of money for when we're actually there, wouldn't we? Because things won't be exactly cheap meals.
Well, it is if you look for them. The thing, obviously, the thing is in Japan, if you went to like a normal like a main restaurant, like more of a posh restaurant, you would pay a bit more. You'd probably pay, say, nearly $10 for a meal, which would be about 10,000 yen. 10,000 yen 10,000 yen is roughly about 10, maybe just under 10. No, it's $10, but then thing it to UK pound, it'd be about £8 ish. Say about that, around about 850, 880, something like that. So to be honest, I mean, it when you because obviously you've got to translate it to the currency, you've got to translate the currency to dollars, because that's how it works with yen, and then from dollars you then do it to your currency, and then you can kind of
translate it from yen to pound.
Well, you can do it that way, but the way that they go about it in Japan is they use American currency to kind of to back up. I mean, like you say, Sam, you know, that is true. You can just simply go yen to pounds, and you will get an fairly accurate, you know, currency exchange or whatever. But yeah, but the way Japan do it is they kind of do it through yen to dollar, and then you can do it from dollar to pound, and then you can kind of find it through that way as well. But yeah, I mean, like I say, Lawrence, if you want to come with us, you're more than welcome. But originally, I was thinking about kind of, I might have been too over ambitious for it being my first trip. Originally, I was thinking of going to Hiroshima, Kyoto, and Fukushima. But it's looking unlikely I'm going to be doing that on my first trip. I'm thinking of just keeping it Tokyo itself only for the first time.
Well, Tokyo is definitely where I would want to go.
Well, obviously, well, yeah, it is mine. I mean, obviously, you've got to go to Tokyo anyways, because you can't fly to anywhere else in Japan. There's two major airlines or airports in Japan. I can't remember the names, but the ones obviously Tokyo based. There's two of them, and it depends which one you're going to be flying to. One of them is more central in more like a city, more in the city, and then there's another one kind of a little bit more outside the city. So you've got two major airports that fly to Tokyo. So you've got no choice but to go to Tokyo. But then when you're in Japan or in Tokyo, some places you do need to, it's a bit like America. So say if you was in California and you wanted to go to Florida or you wanted to go somewhere else, you can get short period flights to state to state. You can kind of do that. It's kind of the similar thing with Japan, because obviously with Japan, they've got like islands that are part of Japan, but they're not part of the main island. They're kind of like split up. They're kind of like little islands out into sea. So you've got no choice to either fly out to them or to use like a ferry. So you kind of got to do your research with the more further out prefectures. But like I say, I'm thinking of just keeping it Tokyo for the first ever trip.
Yeah, how many days are you thinking of going for?
Well, at the moment, I'm looking at about 10 days.
Yeah.
Originally, I was going to do 2 weeks, but to be honest, my mate told me that because of his work commitments and everything, and he literally works like 3 or 4 jobs. He doesn't have like me and Sam, we've actually got like a permanent one job, but my mate, he actually has to work like 3 or 4 different jobs, and they're all like part time. And because of that, he can only take off about 10 or 11. He can only take off about 10 or 11 days at once for a holiday. Because of that. So I'm kind of putting his predicament into consideration. So we're going to have to kind of do 10 days if my mate Smithy comes. If he doesn't come, then I'm looking at 2 weeks. It kind of depends if he's coming or not, you know. But so it's going to be between 10 to 2 weeks. And if we're thinking about 10 to 2 weeks, we're also going to need a lot of spending money, and also we're going to need money to kind of help us out with accommodation. But like I say, the more of us, it'll be a lot cheaper and a lot easier to deal with, because obviously there's more of us, you see. But yeah,
I'm like 4 of us. If there was 4 of us, could we all get one room to share? Or
well, maybe not. I mean, obviously, it depends. If you maybe got like a family suite, enough for like say 4 or 5 people, then we could maybe have like a family suite and split that between us. Or what I'm actually thinking about doing is going to an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Because if you go to an Airbnb, it's literally having a full apartment to yourself. So you have enough rooms to deal with the amount of people that are staying in there. Plus, you have your own living quarters, like a living area with a TV, and you have a kitchen so you can cook yourself as well. So you got more independence. And plus, you can come and go if and when you please. There's no curfew, as like some places you might have a bit of a curfew, because if you kind of went like another thing that I was thinking about going with, I was thinking about doing a borstal, like a type of not a borstal, a hostel. Sorry, I was thinking of going to something like a bit of a hostel, because they have like student hostels as well that are also like budget hotels. And a lot of people are using them as a budget cheaper alternative. I was thinking of doing that, but not all of them, but some of them have a curfew. You've got to be in by a certain time because they literally lock the doors because of security. So I'm actually thinking of going Airbnb because, like I say, you have no restrictions of to come and go. You can literally be out all day and all night if you wish. Obviously, you've got your own rooms. Maybe some of us might have to maybe share, but there'll be at least I would have think there'll be single beds. But like I said, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to do my research because I think there's more than one Airbnb.
You haven't yet started officially saving for it yet because you've got what's coming up.
No, I obviously I'm not going to be able to save for it at all until probably after Benidorm, because literally the rest of the year is obviously just my birthday's in November, and then it's.
I know this is a bit early to probably ask this, but do you think you'll be doing TFN next year?
We don't know. Me and Sam are kind of thinking about maybe going to a different convention next year that could be in August.
Yeah. It is in August.
It is in August, yeah. So,
a week before TFN, so, we're kind of in the middle as to whether or not we're going to do TFN or we're going to do this other convention.
I mean, like I say,
I look at doing this other one with you guys, depending on what happens.
Yeah, well, the one we're thinking about going to is one. It's called what's it called?
SunnyCon.
SunnyCon, yeah, and it's an anime convention. It's literally just anime only. It's not like an MCM comic on it.
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, wait. Basically, Sam is going to keep checking up. He's going to see what guests could be announced. Sorry?
It's in Edinburgh. Well, there's one in Edinburgh and there's one in Newcastle. I can't remember which one it is, but the one we're thinking about going to is 3 days long.
It's Newcastle, isn't it?
I think it's a Newcastle one, yeah. It's a week before TFN will start. It's literally the weekend before TFN. So if we do it, we won't be able to do TFN because there's no way we could afford 2 conventions in the space of a week.
Nah. Obviously, if you guys are going to be nipping maybe to Digicon again next year in Doncaster, I probably would come down again.
Yeah, we might do. I mean, it's not far anyway. It's just up the road.
True, it is. Well, thinking about that as well. But to be honest with you, like I say, I mean, it's still up in the air about next year, to be honest.
Well, we've still got, let's just enjoy this year for now, hey?
Aye, yep. But like I say, Lawrence, if you do want to come to Japan with us, the invitation's still open to you. But what I'm going to do my research, find out like accommodation options, find out how much roughly the flight would cost, find out roughly how much spending money we could be looking at. To be honest with you, when it comes to spending money, you save as much as you possibly want to. It's down to your personal, how much you want to kind of bring spending cash. But the main things is obviously flight, accommodation, and pretty much they're the 2 main things. And obviously baggage allowance as well. Find out what kind of baggage allowance you can take. It's usually
This is to do with weight, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I think the maximum is about 22, 23 kilograms or kilos or something. I think the baggage allowance I'm thinking to Benidorm with is about 22. I think 21, 22 kilograms, which is essentially about I don't know. Yeah, it's decent enough.
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, if we do it, obviously we're going to be doing Tokyo, so we want to check out Shinjuku, the Shinjuku area. I want to check out personally. I want to check out Akihabara, which is where the district where it's all the anime, manga, and video games is. So that's kind of like, you could say, the otaku district.
What would be good is, to pick something up. I would like to pick something up of an anime that you only get in Japan. Because they have animes that don't sort of travel across to other countries, don't they? Or other continents.
Well, yeah, you do. You've got like a lot of stuff that probably only get released to the Japanese market, but the thing is, you kind of might have to maybe do your research on what that thing would be, because it is getting a bit more, because there is a lot more now, a lot more stuff coming over with, like, say, Kapow Toys and Hobbylink Japan and things like that. They've started bringing stuff over, so they ship out to other countries now. So a lot of anime collectibles do get released outside. It can be sent to Japan, to America and the UK, etc. But I
mean, I went to the Japantown in San Francisco when I was there about 4 years ago, and boy, they're good. They had a really good DVD and comic shop. It's a big shopping center full of all this geeky Japanese stuff, and a really good Japanese restaurant as well. And I went in. I bought quite a few Kamen Rider box sets. And also I bought there was some Kamen Rider figures, and there was like lots of the places where they sold lots of bootleg DVDs. Where I bought some Sentai series that had English subtitles on them, and there were lots of figures, DVDs that you couldn't buy, that hadn't been released over here, because like we've never got much of the original tokusatsu stuff actually been released. We've only had the westernized adaptations of them. But in North America, they're getting released. Shout Factory are releasing more and more of the original tokusatsu series, like the Sentai series stuff.
Yeah, true.
I suppose the reason why they don't come over here is maybe because like Power Rangers and stuff isn't as popular as it was here. Now it's still obviously big in America, so more people will know of the source material. So that's why they'll probably release it over there, but they probably won't come over here.
Yeah. That's possibly true. I mean, well, to be honest, I think the reason why Shout Factory, I mean, there's only so much stuff Shout Factory have actually managed to do outside Japan, outside of America, sorry. But
oh, where's John gone?
He's disappeared. Give it a sec, mate. I'll be back. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, here's John. Are you back again?
Yeah, sorry about that. I clicked off. But no, like I was saying before I went off, I was saying, like, the reason why Shout Factory, there's only so much that they've actually managed to release outside of America. I think because they're a North American company, they only have the rights to distribute within North American borders. They then need a third party distributor to then release it in Europe and the UK. That's why Funimation, Viz Media, People like that they work in, obviously they work in North America, in Texas. So they can only distribute their works through their own label, through Funimation, Viz Media, etc. They can only do it legally in their area, their North American area. But then they use people. Then they use distributors such as like.
Now on a laptop, she said, so,
Oh, okay. But like I said, I mean that's why these companies that bring out anime and manga, they use companies such as like Kazi, which is a UK, which is actually French, but they kind of work between Europe and the UK. You've got NVM, which is another UK distributor that brings anime to us. Then you've got Manga Entertainment, that is an American. It's actually
they've done the UK European versions of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers box sets.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing. I mean, it's it's an American place that's releasing them, but then you need Manga Entertainment is one of the major ones because Manga Entertainment is an American distributor, but they have a Manga UK section as well.
Hello, Lizzie.
She's silent. Oh no!
Get out, you.
Lizzie!
She's in the toilet. She looks like she's on the toilet.
No, I'm in the kitchen.
Oh, sorry. It looks like there was toilet. It looks like there was toilet world behind you for a second there.
Why would there be pantry in the toilet?
Well, it might be your escape.
You might have a pantry in your toilet, but we don't judge.
Well, I could do that if you wanted. I could go in the toilet and bring the camera along. I don't know.
I'm sure that would increase. I'm sure that would deeply increase your subscribers.
Well, you never know. I might just get increased by exhibitionists instead.
Episode 1 of Knowlsy on the toilets. Big battle after the chicken vindaloo.
Well, episode 1 could be 3. Then
terrible. How are you, Lizzie? Anyway, how are you, lass?
Warm.
Oh yeah, we're all warm.
Very, very warm. Spent
very
about 5. Well, the reason I was late is because, first of all, Mum was still in the kitchen, in the living room, so I finally got everything set up in the kitchen to get some music on my phone, and my SIM card fell out of my phone. So I spent the last half an hour trying to find it on the floor, and it turns out it's on the side. So I do have a tripod though, but for some reason it didn't let me connect to the chat. So I have something ready for when I do my reviews of the. I've forgotten what I called them last time.
The weird third party
box
that has a fairly good knockoff Bumblebee.
It's admittedly quite good Bumblebee. So I've got a. Oh, you.
Brony's UK joined the video chat.
Saturday was it?
Are you now on Brony's UK, John?
Yeah, I completely forgot I was logged into this, and then I went and tried to upload that video. Then I come off this, so it kind of re-signed me in. Sorry, carry on what you were saying.
Okay, only John could manage to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Brony's UK and this and this the other one I was using are both Gmail accounts, and they're both work. I kept saying that before. You've got to be on a Gmail account for Hangouts to really work. If not, you actually have to kind of have a separate thing.
John?
Yes.
Your middle name's William.
Yes.
I literally didn't know that.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
No, William knows. I was like, what?
What do you think it was meant in that W? A wanker or what? John Wanker Knowles,
That would be more technical.
He's got the same name as his dad. Him and his dad are literally both John William Knowles.
No. No. Sounds wrong.
Do tell.
I've got the same middle name as my dad, so.
No, I share. My dad is called just John Knowles. He doesn't have a middle name, but I share.
So you're John Knowles Jr.
Yep.
John Knowles Jr. Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
and John Knowles Jr. Yeah, but
So your dad killed his middle name?
No, my dad doesn't have a middle name.
He killed it, didn't he? He killed his own middle name. How do you do such a thing?
Quite easily, apparently.
He killed his middle name. Good God, that's a frightening thought.
But
Well,
no,
you
Yep.
seem so shocked, John. Do you know my middle name?
no.
Exactly.
Well, because you don't actually put it on your name. It's Lizzie Sims. So how do I know that you have a middle name?
Technically, a few years back, my Facebook page kind of gave a clue. Because do you remember when I used to use the name Eloise?
Yes.
Middle name's Louise.
Yeah, my middle name's Louise. But my dad's favourite song was Eloise by the Damned, and I thought Elizabeth Louise, Eloise, ta-da. Except one of my colleagues at work has started calling me Libby Lou. Or Elizabeth. Yeah, Libby Lou. I'm like, great.
Here we go, Looby Loo. Here we go, Looby Live.
Don't know if you picked that one up, but actually, whilst we're in the kitchen, I've just remembered. I was somewhere before this conversation, we were talking about knockoff Transformers.
What's we?
Yes, we were.
Well, like I was saying about the William part of my name, the William actually is my great granddad. On my great granddad, his name was William, and also my granddad is also named William. So I kind of get it from my great granddad and my granddad. So obviously my great granddad on my dad's side because he died before I was born. So that's kind of why I've got William. Anyway,
Isn't your nephew called William?
Yeah, he's named after I think my granddad.
Okay.
So they called him William Bradley. Because obviously, well, I'm named after my dad's dad, which he had John William, and then I found out there's a John William Knowles that died in World War One at the Battle of the Somme as well, which was nice. So I didn't last as.
Nicking his glory.
So there's a great person that I probably only lasted 10 bloody minutes.
It was the Battle of the Somme, mate. People were dying in the hundreds there. It was thousands. It was the worst battle of World War One.
No, of course it was. It was just despicable. You were told to go over the edge, and yeah. But anyway, so you were saying, Lizzie?
I was saying, you two have already seen these. Sam and John have a lowing.
The crap.
What are they?
It's my story. I'm lost. You'll see these in real life when I take the nation. But we were in, where were we? The Entertainer.
I'm doing a work experience placement at my Leicester's Entertainer. Leicester's the Entertainer at the moment. So
these two first. So we've got him.
Yeah.
That one and that one. They do transform, but. And then when I was outside St. Stephen's with Sam, waiting for John to turn off, because it took absolutely forever. I was looking at the back of the package, and I was like, "Oh, they've got a little Bumblebee." So I got sort of knockoff.
So they're not actually official Transformers figures.
No, they're
Chinese knockoffs.
I don't even know if they're Chinese knockoffs.
They'll be Chinese knockoffs.
But yeah, the robot mode that it got is an absolute. Oh God. How big should they? The robot modes are really terrible. Mind you, the Bumblebee one, whoopsie, looks kind of Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But the other two just look like nothing.
Well, I've got. Pardon.
Okay.
What were you saying, Lizzie?
So they're kind of not. By the by, they're really kind of nothing. But the car modes are really quite nice. So the sort of first thing I am going to do.
The closest thing I've got to a knockoff Transformer is this.
He's gone.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, you suddenly disappeared.
This is the closest thing I've got to a knockoff Transformer.
Oh, yeah.
Just a plastic robot picked up from a junk shop in the East End of London.
I've got a
I
few
used,
sort of.
I used to have something like that when I was a kid.
It looks more like the old. It looks more like the original Power Rangers Megazord Transformer, but
Like Lawrence's seedy underworld people. I went to the East End of London last night. I saw my contact Zippy, and I bought this. It's full of cocaine. It could be as well, you know. Lawrence.
Yeah.
I want to crack it open.
That's his little. Oh god. I was gonna say that's his little face, but it's.
I will admit, I do like that Bumblebee knockoff. It's actually not bad for a knockoff.
Yeah, it's all right. The face is a bit kind of creepy.
So, who's bringing some figures with them? Sort of bringing them with you? Any figures?
Well, apart from these three, I might have a couple. I can't think what I've got it yet, but I'll have a couple. Okay. Might have Jaegertron. I always have a drift. Is it Generations Drift? It always ends up tagging along. And a shockwave. Nice sound you're making there, Joe.
So how's your week been, Lizzie?
I haven't really had much of a week, to be honest. I'd say, I think I've broken this thing. I'd say I got quite back on Monday actually, because it was what 1:30 when I left, John.
Right.
What time did I leave on Monday?
Was it about 1:30-ish?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So it took about an hour and a bit, probably no, about 2 hours actually, to get into Sheffield. And I expected from Sheffield to have to take a train, a train from Chesterfield and then a bus from Chesterfield to Burton. And my mum was expecting that as well, because Derby train station's now shut. There's no trains going in or out. But for some reason, my train got diverted almost an hour, but we still got to Burton. And turns out, when I got into Burton, I can't click this in. There's police there, and Mum's like, "Are they expecting riots because they've got the train shut?" And it turns out they're a missing person.
All right.
And then just going off the train, there's customs or revenue or something pulled one of the guys and see going to work. All of them start chatting with him. So that was sort of welcome home. There's a missing person. I was going to make the joke that yes, I finally returned from Hull, but yeah.
You put down a person.
You what?
You put down as a missing person, reported as a missing person.
The missing person hunt in Burton. I had no idea about this till I actually got to Burton, because Mum was talking to a bus driver. It just so happened for some reason there was somebody missing and the police were looking for them. But no, I was going to make the joke that I'm now I've my captors and returned back to Burton, but Mum thought it was a bad taste for me to say that. I don't actually know what happened. Oh, speaking of Burton, actually, apparently the bridge that has been shut is going to reopen the second week of March. No, not March. August, when it's supposed to have reopened. Sometime in September, I think. But I think because the weather's been so good, they've been able to get everything started and sorted. Yeah, that's not going to work. So that's sort of the big news. But no, it's just been work, basically. It's been so hot at work. We've barely had any appetite, crap. So I've had a lot of couscous recently, which is quite a boring food.
Yeah.
Regardless of what I put in it, it's still a boring food. Okay. Mind you, as I said to John earlier today, we actually finished the queue. So the queue of work that we have each day was actually clear, and we were pulling out work for Monday, which also got done. What does it flip out? That's the wheels. So we're in a better stead for Monday, I hope, because next week I've got one of my colleagues away. The week after I'm away. The week after that, I think we've got full staff for 3 days, and then I'm off for TF Nation. Got a week afterwards, and then my colleague's off for a week as well.
That's pretty much happening at my place. I mean, the week of TF Nation, there's going to be almost nobody available on ground floor tills team because almost all of us are off that week. So they're literally going to have to either cover it by seeing if anybody wants overtime or seeing if they can draft anybody in from shop floor. Because from what I've been told, there's only going to be one person on the team not on holiday that week. The rest of us are all on holiday.
I'm surprised they're actually allowed to do that, because when it comes to holidays on where I work, you know, if literally
technically there's only 3 people that are ground floor tills, and I'm one of them. There's only 3 people that are actually classed as permanent ground floor till staff. The rest of them that do the tills with me are actually shop floor or department. There's only me. There's me, Deb, and Sam. We're the only 3 who are actually official ground floor tills team. Everybody else that's on ground floor tills is basically either shop floor or department. So there's only 3 of us that are officially contracted as till team. So me and Deb well, no, I could do anything at Primark because but officially my contract is member of the till team, so I'm officially a till worker. But I could work in any department because it's I've worked.
Do you do the stock and stuff?
Yeah, I could do that. I was in the warehouse this morning this afternoon when I got there for about maybe 10-15 minutes doing some stuff. But
it was
I
in
could do anything.
the Pepsi underpants for women.
I just zoned out. What did I do?
All I heard was Pepsi underpants for women.
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, it's not my fault. Everyone's talking over me.
I do occasionally fondle the lingerie before we set it on shop shelves just to make sure it's soft.
That's what you're supposed to do, to make sure that it's good quality.
Is that what you do at Asda there, John?
What?
Is that what you do at Asda? Fondle them and to make sure they're all nice and picky for...
Well, there's been an occasion where I have fondled some bras on the till, but,
Who hasn't?
I was going to say, I have never done that, because apparently they didn't sell bras when I used to work there. Also, I was never allowed on the till. But,
Why weren't you allowed on the till, if you don't mind me asking, Lizzie?
I wasn't. Because, I can't remember why. I think it's probably for punishment for leaving a box cutter out on one of the shelves. Which I had a tendency to do, because I put things down and forget them. So I'm like 3 or 4 aisles over, my box cutter's still on, for example, the smoking shelf. I'm like, oops, I probably should need that. But I wasn't that bothered about staying at Pound. The problem is, it was a lot on your feet, and I just don't like being on my feet that all day.
Mm.
I'd
like to work on the till again, but I like doing the warehouse work because it gets me moving about a bit. Well, I suppose what I do a lot of is demoing the tools that we have to push on.
My job, I just sit on the computer. Oh, speaking of, actually, my mum I find it hilarious. So whilst we had no work to do, I was looking at reviews for cars, and some of them are your standard, people like it, but it's too big for most people, stuff like that. Then I came across a review for a Renault Twizy, I think it is, Twizy. And the con points for this vehicle is you have to pay extra for the doors for the vehicle. The standard model has no doors. And I looked at the doors and I was like, that's not going to do anything. Quite funny. Not that I should be looking at... Well, yeah, I can still look at cars. I mean, the most thing I do is find out how far people... If the insurance lives close to somewhere I know, see how far away from the location it is. Okay. Plate there.
Are you thinking of getting a car then, Lizzie? Do you drive?
I don't drive, no. I'm thinking about it. Well, the thing is, my work's moving, so if I actually want to continue the job, then I need to move, either move closer, get something that I can get to places, or get a new job. So I was thinking of getting like a little moped just to get me here to work, but I don't know. That was a lone mating call of a John there, apparently.
Well, that's what they sound like, scooters.
The low mating call of the John Knowlsy is typically ignored by most women, for they understand this belief his calm mating demeanor is nothing more than a geek wandering alone. One man who last time tried to affectionate a woman was slapped in the face.
Well, that's happened. Actually, your sister was one of the women that slapped me in the face. Both cheeks.
Upon luring the woman to him with his mating call, the female proceeds to beat him very hard, showing her dominance and informing him that he has not got a chance in hell.
True. But in my defence, when I was slapped by your sister, I was actually defending you, of all people.
No, I'm not on about that, mate. I'm on about the fact that you were suspended from school for touching a girl's ass.
Yeah, but that was proven to be bullshit.
You were still suspended for like a day.
I was suspended for a day because
Half a day, to be frank.
No, because the assistant head teacher was a sexist bitch. And that is why I was excluded from school for a day.
Who was the assistant head teacher again?
That was Mrs. Dunn. She's now the head teacher of Hessel High now. But she was actually kind of like underneath the headmaster at the time, which was John Rose.
Yeah, he was great, John Rose. He was a good head teacher.
I remember, you know, he'd literally say, "Hi, John," and he'd literally invite me into his bloody office. I was like, "Is this a good thing or a bad thing?" But yeah, it was, yeah, he was a nice guy, John Rose.
I had that at my secondary school.
Mm.
I've got the principal. The problem is with my dad. He was a teacher in the opposite school, so literally all the teachers knew my dad. So they got on quite well with him. So the head teacher, I think, got on quite well with my dad. So a lot of the times that we sort of sit and have a conversation. I mean, one of the times I was in the sort of the main hall, and the vending machine stole my money. I went, and the head teacher was like, "Oh, spoken again." Yeah. So they gave me another pound. I was like, "Yes, I get money." But no, he was a really nice teacher. I don't know what happened to him. I think his name's, I want to say it's John Crossley. I know it's Mr. Crossley. Oh, he's a really nice guy. I don't know what happened. I mean, once I left the Allets, a lot of things changed. But there's a lot of teachers that knew my parents, which knew my dad, which caused a lot of issues because a lot of it was they know my dad by reputation because he was a good teacher. So they kind of expected me to be a good student, which I was. But I couldn't be myself. It's one of the reasons why I did go to the Allet rather than the local school, the Pingle, which is just up the hill from me. Because my dad teached at the Pingle, and if I went to Pingle, I'd always be Mr. Sim's daughter. Whereas at least in the Allet, even though there was teachers who knew my father, I could still kind of somewhat be myself. And I could also kind of be judged on my merits as well, rather than just, oh, she's doing well because she's Mr. Sim's daughter. It doesn't mean that I did 100% well, because I'm not entirely. I'm quite good at like English, but I could never get my hand.
I was always good at English. English was one of my best subjects. I was quite good at English and science, and wasn't great at maths though.
Yeah. Oh god.
I passed my English GCSEs. I got an E. I think I was just slightly under a D. My English teacher, who for some reason seems to hate me, and I never really got on with her, she basically predicted that I would fail my English GCSE. I didn't, but she was always marking me down. She was always like marking my reading age down lower than it actually was. I mean, I'm a really, really good reader. I read a hell of a lot, and I remember in class one time we were reading, I think it was Shakespeare, one of the Shakespeare books, and you know, every now and then she got someone to read a passage from it. And I remember when we were basically being tested, and I remember me reading it and everything I asked him to be all right. And I remember some other people, I remember one guy really struggling, tripping over the words, really struggling to read the lines. And then I remember when we all got our tests back, we were always looking at them. And And the guy who was struggling to read the book, I remember he can, you know, he kind of like was comparing it all, and he was just like, how come I'm marked higher than you when I really struggle to read and you don't? You're a really good reader, yet you're marked lower than I am. It's just like yeah, because the English teacher for some strange reason hates me, because she's always marking me down in my English classes when I'm actually really good at English. Yeah, so I remember my mum actually had me tested, my reading age tested independently, and it came out as like towards the top end of the tier, and the school wouldn't recognise it. But my mum was adamant, you know, you should recognise it because, you know, there's the proof. But,
yeah, I mean, the thing was, when I took my, I think, you see, I think most people in my house, because I was in a lot of the bottom sets at school, obviously, because I'd gone back to mainstream school kind of permanently midway through year 10. I started on a part-time timetable at the beginning of year 10 when I was still at a special school, and then I was full-time back at in the middle of year 10. So, and through year 11, English for me was good, and I think overall the English teacher said realistically she predicted a D for me. But when I got my GCSE results, I couldn't believe I got a C. And I got a C for English language and a D for literature.
I mean, it just goes to show you can always do better in sometimes than what teachers predict. I mean, the truth about your GCSEs is realistically, within 3 years of you finishing school, they're obsolete. Within 6 months.
Yeah, and now look at what you're having to do now. People are having to retake the bloody maths and English in order to be able to get qualified to do a certain job or something.
Well,
that's just ridiculous.
Within 6 months of me finishing school, I'd done my NVQ maths and English, which just made my GCSE irrelevant.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I mean, at school for me, I was better at science, English, and I was in a special needs class called ASDAN, and I was actually pretty good at all that as well. ASDAN actually really helped me out when it comes to my reading age and when it came to my spelling and grammar and things like that, because I did suffer with problems like that. And I still do suffer with a little bit with my reading. I've got better, but, you know, obviously that's why I don't really read very much, because I generally find it difficult to read and just sit there for like an hour and just read a chapter of a book. I find it kind of difficult at times. So as long as it's a book that I actually find is, you know, that grabs me straight away, I usually don't really have a problem. But if it's a book that kind of takes a bit of time to kind of get into, you know what I mean? I kind of like, Christ, this is going to take me forever. But no, I mean, like I said, school wasn't a great time for me. School was actually one of the worst times for me. At primary school, I only ever had like maybe 2 teachers. No, 3 teachers. Actually, one of them was actually the headmaster, the head teacher. He was a really nice guy when I was at primary school, and he actually backed me up a few times with some of the bad decisions from the teachers that I got. I also kind of had, I think my maths teacher, she was really nice and she was good at a job with like trying to explain things to you. And then I think my English teacher, I think he was quite nice as well. But then there was a couple of other teachers that I had that simply just thought I was a waste of space. My mum was literally, she used to just literally race into that into that school, go to the headmaster. She'd give the poor guy, the headmaster guy, a complete skinful, and he was just like, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Knowles. I'm sorry, Mrs. Knowles. We'll get it rectified." And she'd look, God, bloody hell. There's a few instances with that, and then but yeah, school was an absolute shitstorm for me. And then obviously when I went to like Hessel High, which was like middle school and high school, it wasn't as bad. I still got bullied and everything, but it was kind of like when it came to kind of the curriculum, I kind of got it a little bit more.
You got quite badly bullied. I mean, I was very lucky that when I returned to mainstream school, I settled in well after being in the special school for several years.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I considered suicide due to how badly bullied I got. But then me and John were bullied by the same people.
But Sam, be careful, because obviously Lizzie and everything, she don't like to talk about suicide.
Yeah, well, yeah, no.
Yeah, because that's nothing. But like Sam said, me and Sam both kind of shared a similar feelings at the time. That was quite dark feelings, and yeah, to be honest with you, a lot of the people that bullied me was actually in Sam's year. It wasn't, it was just people that were generally the classes above or the year above that generally were mainly my bullies. And primary school was
weren't you two in the same year at school then?
No, it's a year below me.
No, because Sam's actually older than me by about
8 months.
8 months. I had to see. I'm not good at maths. I failed maths. I can't even count to 8. But anyway, so
well, I got an F in my maths GCSE at first. I mean, that is the only grade that was officially a fail. Used to be a U when it was ungraded.
Thing is, they've changed it all
What
now.
are you holding there, Lawrence? What are you holding?
A plastic sword.
Okay.
I picked it up from Pound World for 30 pence in the closing down.
Oh yeah, because they're shut down now, ain't they? Sorry, John.
I think Lawrence was kind of contemplating whether to either kill Sam first or me first, and then
Probably you, John.
take the dame for his own. I don't know.
That only works if he kills you. I think Sam won't do anything.
So we've got one viewer, so
Have we? It won't. It's not me.
Well,
maybe could be Carl. Maybe he's watching us.
Maybe Tony.
Hello, if you are.
What was you doing then, Lawrence? It's 11:10. Was you thinking of popping off, or do you want to kind of carry on for a little bit longer?
We'll carry on for another 5 minutes, and then I'm just going to have a quick jump in the shower, and I'm going to go and have a nice cold beer.
Literally, he did jump in the shower. Thing is, the only thing is with a shower, you can't really jump into a shower because obviously the water is.
Well, actually, no, I don't actually have a shower. I have a bath.
Well, yeah, you can jump into a shower. You get the water running, go ta-da into it. You jump into it. Duh.
No, you step into it.
Water's going down. You can jump into it.
If it's a bath, then you can jump into it, and then you can make a big splash, and then damp comes through your roof. I did that once when I was a kid, and then we had massive big streaks of water coming down the walls.
So you, Sam, John and Sam, are you guys sharing at with Tony again at TFN this year?
No, it's just me and Sam. Unfortunately,
Tony's got his own room.
Yeah, it's sharing with Tony. Tony, look at that.
Sharing with himself, yes. Nobody else wanted to share with him.
I'm so fortunate to have my own room there and access to the executive lounge as well.
Good lad.
I nearly had my own room, but then I got to share with somebody, so oh well. But if I was going to have my own room, that mean I'd have to be coming down on the Friday rather than the Thursday, so it kind of works out. And also, it's cheaper, and he can drive me there, so there's all the perks.
It's always good. I think it's always good to come up on the Thursday because if you come up on the Friday, you kind of lose that a day. So it's kind of nice to come.
I know. Don't they usually count the Thursday as day 0?
Yeah, kind of.
They don't really count it as day 0 anymore because that's why they kind of, because originally Thursday was day 0 and literally Friday nothing happened when it
on the schedule. Does it say what time the concert is on the Saturday?
9.
It's an hour after ClubCon. So
yeah, I think how it works is ClubCon shuts at 8. They have a little turnaround and it starts at 9.
About 9.
But so should we all sort of get together around 8:30ish time, or
I think it'd just be good to stay where we are because, like I said, that to be honest, it said that they want everybody to get out in an orderly fashion, so they can sort the room out. But apparently, there's going to be a limited seats, and it's really going to be standing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this
Great
is the
idea.
thing.
I was actually really panicking because I thought, well, yeah, I've got my ticket, but there's going to be so many people buying the ticket for the concert. Are they going to be able to fit everybody in? And with them now saying that there's going to be some seating, but it's going to be limited seating, and the rest is going to be like an open floor. So it's I'm kind of happy about that, but I would actually like to get in there as quick.
Obviously, they'll have to fit everyone in that's bought a ticket because you bloody paid for extra for it.
I think it said in the email though that isn't the seating for the people with health, health difficulties.
Well, kind of. Apparently, the ClubCon thing is going to be completely different as well. They're getting rid of the tables. Apparently, they're getting rid of the tables and they're just going to have rows of chairs so they can fit more people in, which I think is a good idea. I think that's a good idea because, to be honest, with the tables, it took up too much room and you couldn't situate everybody that wanted to check out ClubCon. And that is kind of a big thing I thought was a good idea because if you think about it, if you simply line up loads of chairs right up to the stage, you can situate pretty much everybody because a chair simply doesn't take up as much room.
The ClubCon, is that in the same venue, the same room that the concert's going to be in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we may as well just stay there when that's finished.
We can't. We've got to exit the building. Well, not building. We've got to exit the room.
But should we all get in? Should we all get ready for the concert together? Do you think we should stay as a group? And
yeah, I think we should all have a group shower. Dress together.
No, I don't literally mean that.
Well, you boys are fine with that, but being the only female in the group, they might have some issues there.
Maybe not.
Should we?
If I keep it quiet,
should we all meet up before we get ready to go in? Do you think? And
I think it's a good idea to stay together because I think you can enjoy the concert better with the people you're with. So
yeah.
I mean, that's if Lizzie wants to kind of say, no, I want to be on my own. And leave us.
No, I don't do that. You know I'm clingy.
Yeah, that's true.
You love it, though. So
You said it, not me.
But no, I mean, I don't know what the sort of plan is, whether they want us to sort of go, if not too far, but maybe go to the bar and then hang around. I'm assuming a lot of people will be hanging around that room until it actually opens.
I mean, apparently it's all happening in the King's Suite, which is where ClubCon always happens. So, like I said, they want everybody to be out the room, so as quick as possible. And apparently, they're giving themselves an hour to do this. And I was kind of like, are you kind of biting a bit more off than you can chew, kind of thing? Because they are wanting us to get out, and no doubt how many people's going to be in that room to begin with. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get everybody out the room. And then once the doors are closed, they have to remove shitloads of chairs. They then have to dismantle the stage and reassemble it for the concert, including lights and PA system. They have to completely redo it all as a proper concert, like you're going into a proper concert environment. So that they're not just kind of getting rid of chairs to move for a dance floor. They are literally completely reconstructing the room within an hour.
Also, they're usually not on time anyway.
Sorry?
They're not usually on time anyway, so regardless on how long that takes.
Well, that's true. I mean, basically, they always kind of give at least a good 15 minutes leeway in between between each thing.
Yeah.
About 10-15 minutes. So kind of like in between panels. So like say you've got a voice actor panel at 1. That will be on for like say 45 minutes to 50 minutes usually. So that will leave 10 minutes for them to then get everything off and then get ready or prep themselves for the next panel. Or for the next, because obviously there's not just panels in the main room, there's alternative panels as well. So you've got to then maybe give people enough time to then make their way to the alternative panel rooms, and so on and so forth. So you've got to kind of put all that into prescript thingy as well.
As I say, obviously they'll be doing the official enrolment again on the Friday morning, won't they? So we'll be have to take our tickets and get our wristbands.
Yeah, they'll be doing that on the Friday.
Yeah, they will do.
Yeah, and I think what time? I know that we'll all be up probably to the early hours of the bloody morning every night. But so, what time do you guys think you'll be going down? What?
Huh?
What time do you think you'll be going down for breakfast?
That's if I can actually make breakfast, because usually I kind of miss it by an hour.
You've never missed it.
Well, to be honest, like I say to Sam, like last year, no, not last year, the year before, when we was kind of sharing just me and Sam, I said to Sam, can you set your alarm clock, please, for a certain amount of time, so we can both get up and then we can go down and get our breakfast. I wake up because I heard the door open and close. Sam's come in and had his breakfast and just left me there to sleep. He hadn't even said, John, the alarm's gone off. He didn't even set the alarm. He simply didn't even set the alarm off. He literally left me on my own. I could have been abducted by a cleaner.
What? Why the hell would a random Hilton cleaner abduct you?
Well,
what is it? Is it... Attention, Hilton. I'm sick of the hours. I'm sick of the pay. If you don't raise my pay, I will kill this random geeky nerd from... Where are you from? I'm from Hull. He's from some place called Hull. I've never heard of it. If I don't get my demands in 12 hours, I will kill him.
Well, it could have happened.
No.
Adorable.
No. And the only reason I left you, mate, was because you wouldn't fucking wake up.
You obviously didn't. You didn't. Obviously, you didn't freaking.
I threw a pillow at your head. You didn't wake up.
To be honest, the most kind of not kind of exactly hungover, but the kind of I had like the kind of the first. I think that it was the Friday morning after the Thursday night was the time I felt the most withdrawal from alcohol from the night before last year. And everyone was getting up saying, "Oh, how are you feeling?" I was like, "Yeah, I feel pissed up. I got a bit of a woolly-headed."
No, I don't have a standard one because I say I'm sharing with my friends, this year, and it's whatever time he can actually get me out of the bed because he snores like he's being strangled, and usually sort of I'm asleep before he is, but he wakes me up, so then I'm up till 1, 2, 3, whatever time in the morning. And his alarm goes off, and I'm like, leave me alone.
Right,
we usually down about
like he's being strangled, Lizzie, because you are literally strangling him.
Well, I did try once.
Is it a case of stop snoring, stop it? Yeah.
I think he's learned from last year that if I'm next to him, I'll throw a pillow at him and try to hold it over his face. So we've now got separate beds, annoyingly. So I can't strangle him this year.
Good luck, John.
What?
Nothing.
To be quite honest with you, my snoring is nowhere near as bad as Sam's. Let me just put that way, because literally Sam's kept me awake a few times. He can't talk.
John, buddy,
I know. This is why, guys. One of the reasons, guys, I would recommend you never share with me because I actually do snore.
I sleep on my face, though. You can't really tell. Apparently, I do snore, but I say most of the time I sleep on my face.
Sleep on your face?
Yeah.
I sleep on my face. My mum's waking me up. She's tickled my feet, and I sort of put my head up. I'm like, okay. She's like, how long you be asleep? I don't know. So I start sleeping on my side, and then by morning I'm on my face. So I don't know what happens halfway through the night, but somehow I just end up lying on my face. What you got there, John?
Let's have a look.
What is that? Oh, okay.
PD.
I just kind of found it on top of my printer. Don't know why it's there, like.
I'm waiting for my anime books to come.
What did you want?
John and Sam, are you guys going to be bringing any figures with you to TF Nation, or
I don't know yet. I need to actually go back at the voice actors going to see what they've been involved in, see if I've got any of the works. I will be. I'm either going to bring my copy of the 86 film or possibly the album CD for Sam Bush to Sam. One of the two.
Sam, easy. Just either bring this or Dark of the Moon, so you got something for the guy who played Sideswipe.
I was thinking that actually.
And then obviously bring possibly something Resident Evil because he plays Wesker. This is DC Douglas. He plays DC Douglas plays Wesker in some of the virtual animated films, and he also plays him in live action as well in some of the earlier films. Plays Wesker. So there's two options, and then
I'm probably going to bring my copy of the '86 film that has the DVD that has the original poster on it, the original video cover. I'm probably going to bring that this year.
I'll just bring my autograph book.
And I've got the original.
I don't have a copy of the soundtrack CD, unfortunately, so I'll probably bring
You've
that
got
instead.
3 weeks to get one. Two and a bit weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
You've got time.
Yeah. All right then, guys. Well, I think it's probably about time for us to log off now. Well, time for me anyway. But as usual, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I cannot wait to see you all in person.
Oh, that's a nice face, John.
Oh, can't be bothered.
All right, guys.
I'm thinking of simply just sleeping throughout the whole thing. Get there on Thursday and wake up on Monday morning and say aye, bye. And then that's it.
If you're doing that, I'll make your room key there.
Well, yeah, I probably missed it all, but then I've saved money at the same time.
Yeah. All right, so I would like to say a big thank you to my guests, Knowlsy, 000Firestorm89, and Lizzie.
Right. See you later, guys. Thank you for having me.
See you later. And we'll be back, I think, at least one more time before we attend TFN.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it'd be a good idea if we do a group thing, probably maybe the day before we set off.
Yeah, Tony says he's not sure if he'd want to come on the day before because he wants to double check his packing and everything on the Wednesday.
Oh, what a domestic whore! Sorry, Lizzie. I said the word.
Okay, well, thanks to all of you. You're all awesome.
I was meaning Tony. So it's funny.
I didn't hear what you said, so I'm going to let that slide.
5.
See you later, guys.
4.
See you later, mate.
Bye.
2.
1.
Bye-bye.